and let me share a PowerPoint here. All right, can everyone see my screen? Nope. Okay, let's try this again. Are we good now? Awesome. All right, well, welcome in everyone. I'm so glad that everyone was able to join us for our coalition meeting today. And to get started, we are going to share a little bit about Live Well. For those that don't know, we're a nonprofit that promotes the health and well-being of all residents in Kosciuszko County. And we work together to transform our community into a thriving place for you and your family to live, learn, work, play, and visit. Our agenda for today, very brief. We're going to have welcome and introductions. We're going to watch a video from the Obesity Action Coalition. We're going to learn about Chronic Disease Day. I will share some information about a free training that everyone's welcome to attend virtually. And then we'll have member sharing and upcoming events followed by Q&A. And to get us started today, if those in the room could go around, give your name and organization. And the icebreaker for today's meeting is, if you could only eat one vegetable for the rest of your life, what would it be? So I will go ahead and start. I'm Sandy Vera with Live Well Kosciuszko, and the vegetable that I chose would be roasted carrots. So let's see here. If Carolyn, because the one I see on my screen, if you'd like to go ahead and jump in and do an introduction, that would be great.
Okay. Hi, I'm Caroline Arnett. I'm with Purdue Extension. I'm the county's community wellness coordinator. And this is a good question, and I think it would probably be broccoli.
Would it be raw or cooked or roasted?
Any of it.
Any
I
of it.
actually like
Nice.
it both ways. I'm usually pretty happy to have that one.
Yeah, well, we were debating broccoli earlier about could it be raw or could it be cooked with seasoning? So awesome. All right. Alia?
Hi, Alia Amin, and I lead the Cardio and Vascular Diabetes Coalition of Indiana. We're one of the statewide chronic disease coalitions under Connections in Health. And if I could only eat one vegetable, man, I think it would be Brussels sprouts. I love like a good shaved Brussels sprout salad, or roasted Brussels sprouts are just also amazing. Yeah, so I'm a fan of Brussels sprouts. Beets would be a close second, but I think it's going to be the sprouts.
Now I'm getting hungry. I should probably thought ahead and brought some vegetables to eat. All right. And Jessica.
Hi, I'm Jessica from Live Well Kosciuszko. My vegetable would be with Caroline. I love broccoli any kind of way.
Nice. And Katie.
Katie Tipton with Goshen Health, and I'm just going to echo other people and say broccoli.
Nice. Let's see here. Austin.
Hello, Austin Rhodes here, also with Live Well Kosciuszko. I would probably go with spinach, mainly because I love to put it in my smoothies.
Oh, that's a good one. All right, then we have Liz, and it looks like Kurt.
So I am Liz McCullough. I am with Health First Kosciuszko. I'm the assistant. And I would have to say green beans. Carrots is close second, but green beans.
especially those right out of the garden.
Kirk Carlson, Health First Kosciuszko, avocados. Had them for lunch twice this week.
Ooh, that's a good one. All right. And Shannon, what about you?
Purdue Extension, Kosciuszko County. I'm the Health and Human Science educator here, and I would echo Caroline in the broccoli.
All right. And we have Natalie, and it looks like Teresa.
There's actually more of us in here. There's a lot of us. Just keep going. It just goes on.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Looks like we have Rich.
Oh, you skipped us.
Hi, everybody. Rich Haddad with K21 Health Foundation. And I know it's not the most healthy, but there's nothing better to me than a good corn on the cob in the summertime.
Getting ready for that right out of the garden. Let's see here. We have Melissa.
Bushing with Parkview, I'd probably say green beans.
Oh, another one. Good one. Green beans. Angie. Don't know if she can hear me.
Hi, Angie Summers, K21 Health Foundation. I'm going to go with bell peppers.
Oh, I love a good bell pepper. All right, Mary.
Hi, Mary Robertson, IU Simon Comprehensive Cancer Center, and I would go with kale.
Oh, roasted or baked kale is good. And then Anna.
Anna Rich with Tippecanoe Valley Schools, and I would say carrots.
Good one. Trying to see here. Did I skip anyone? I know that Natalie and Teresa, I wasn't sure if you guys were able to hear me, and you're welcome to jump in.
Can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes.
Oh, I don't know what happened. Okay, I'm Natalie with Liverpool Kosciuszko, and I would say green beans.
I'm Teresa with the Kosciuszko County Health Department, and I'm going to go with stinging nettle of all things. I have a lot of it, and I use it in a variety of ways. So yeah, I'll keep my Eurytica dioica.
Yeah, I've actually had soup that she's made, and it's super good. So Lisa Harmon with Live Well, and this is a really hard question because I like a lot of vegetables, but I'm gonna say cabbage because I like to roast those little cabbage steaks. So.
Awesome.
Oh, one more.
I'm Alana with Live Well, and I would probably say green beans.
Great. All great choices. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. And I'm going to share a little bit about the Obesity Action Coalition. It is a nonprofit organization that's dedicated to giving a voice to individuals affected by the disease of obesity and helping them along their journey toward better health. Since its inception in 2005, the OAC has grown to be the nation's leading voice on obesity. The organization focuses on raising awareness and improving access to prevention and treatment of the disease of obesity, providing evidence-based education on obesity and its treatments, fighting to eliminate weight bias and discrimination, and elevating the conversation of weight and its impact on health. Today, we're going to watch a video titled "Why Eating Less and Moving More is Not the Simple Solution to Obesity." As many of us know, obesity is a complex disease, and there is no one simple solution. But we know that over time, the message has been simplified to say that if you simply move a little more and eat less, you can easily lose weight. But we know that's not the case. Dietitian Sarah Montel, RD, helps us understand this in this health talk and helps us find a balance between calories and movement. And let's get this playing here. Oh, hold on, let me get it so the sound.
Welcome to OAC Health Talks. I'm Joe Naglowski, OAC President and CEO, and we are excited for you to join us for this educational video series that dives deeper into specific health topics that we know are important to you and the OAC. Today's OAC Health Talk tackles another important topic: why eating less and moving more is not the simple solution to obesity, and will be led by registered dietitian Sarah Muntel. As many of us know, obesity is a complex disease and there is no one simple solution. But we know that over time, the message has been simplified to say that if you simply move a little more and eat a little less, you can easily lose weight. We know that's not the case. Sarah's going to help us understand this and how we find the balance between calories and movement. And with that, take it away, Sarah.
Hi, everybody. My name's Sarah Muntel. I am a registered dietitian from Indianapolis, Indiana, and I am so excited to be here today for Health Talks with the OAC. So thank you so much for joining in today to listen to me. What we're going to talk about today is a really interesting, exciting topic, and it's going to be this: is exercising more and eating less the solution to obesity? So I'm going to introduce myself, and I want you to think about that for just a minute. So again, I'm a dietitian. I've been in the field of bariatrics for about 20 years. So I've worked with surgical weight loss patients. I've worked with medical weight loss patients, kind of all across the board. I love what I do. I'm going to do this for the next 20 years. So why do I love weight loss, and why do I love working with patients who are maintaining that healthy weight? I think the best part about it is I love to see the health transformation that people have as they go through the processes. So we all know that weight can be a struggle. We also know that how weight is very much affecting your health. So what we find is as people gain weight, they gain all kinds of health conditions. But the best part of my job is when people start losing weight, we find that their blood pressure gets better. They can get rid of those diabetic medications. They're going up the stairs without huffing and puffing. So that's my favorite part about the treatment of obesity, is all the people I work with. In the last 20 years, it's really interesting to see kind of what's changed. So I think the science of obesity has really transformed over the last 20 years. We see new surgical techniques. We see new science, new treatments of obesity, new medications. So it's been a lot to see over the last 20 years. However, we still seem to come back to the same question, right? You probably hear it all the time. Do I eat less, exercise more, and is that my key to maintaining my weight or losing some weight? Have you ever walked into a doctor's office and you're having a conversation, you're talking about your weight, and has your doctor ever given you a diet sheet and just said, hey, follow this 1,500 calorie diet and walk a little bit? And you think, okay, and you go out the door and you start trying it, and it works for a little bit, and then it does become a struggle. So I want to talk about that today. I want to talk about calories. I want to talk about movement, the balance, and other things. So the question is that all that there is? Is it just about calories and just about moving? So let's explain that for a little bit before we start going. So everybody needs a certain amount of calories every day. So to maintain their body weight. So what a calorie is, a food that you eat. So might be an apple, might be a piece of cheese, might be a hot dog, all have a certain amount of calories in them. Those calories are energy, and they give your body fuel to go for the day. Now, each one of those foods is made up a little bit different, but just talking about calories, we need a certain amount every day. If you are 5 foot and 200 pounds, you need a certain amount of calories. If you are 6'2" and 300 pounds, you need a different amount of calories. So we all have a number. You can pretty much quickly figure out about what your calorie level is by using different health equations. So we kind of over here know how many calories we need every day. Then we know that we eat a certain amount of food that has calories. And then over on this side, there is our activity level. So over here we have, hey, I'm active at work, and maybe I take a little bit of a walk and burn some calories. So there's kind of a balance. If you eat a little bit more, okay, you may gain weight. If you eat a little bit less, you may lose weight. So that's kind of how the balance of calories work, right? So just to recap, everybody needs a certain amount of calories for energy. Everybody's different. And then if you eat a little bit more and exercise a little bit less, you might gain weight. Okay. If you exercise more and eat a little bit less, you'll lose weight. Is that all there is? What do you think? I think years ago, we thought it was pretty much that simple. But I think what we've learned over the last many, many, many years is there's a lot more to it. So there's a lot more to weight management than just calories and activity. So let's talk for a little bit about what those things may be, because these are important. And these are things that I don't think people consider. When you meet with doctors and health professionals, they're probably going to bring these up to you. So get to kind of know them. All right. So first, let's talk about genetics. So everybody body is made up a certain way, and we have certain genetics. Some people, and this may be you, really struggle with maintaining their weight or losing weight. It's genetically harder for them. On the flip side, there's those people, and we all know them, they eat cheeseburgers and French fries and Cokes, and they don't struggle with their weight. So genetically, sometimes it's easier for some people than others. This is kind of just the health or the cards that you're dealt, right, in the genetic pool. So that's one thing that can affect your weight and your health. Hormones, there's hormonal changes all throughout your lifespan. A lot of people really feel that as you age, those levels have to change, especially in women. So hormone changes can affect your weight and affect obesity. Different medications. And when I talked earlier, we talked a little bit about the health conditions that come up when you have obesity. Then you're more likely to be on some medications. Some of these medications that you're on may increase your weight, right? So that's another thing we have to consider. So there's lots of things. Let's talk a minute about behaviors. And I think this is a big one in our society today. So much of what we do is revolved around food. Have you ever got a text from a friend and said, hey, do you want to meet for dinner? Or you get together with family friends at a restaurant. A lot of our things are revolved around food socially, so there's social eating. There is eating for emotions, which is a big one. So if you have a really bad day sometimes, you're like, oh, I've had a bad day at work, I'm just going to order pizza. You're eating because of emotions. It's another one. Sometimes you eat to celebrate. Something really great happens to you and you think, you know what, I deserve to go out and have some ice cream today. So there's emotionally wrapped up in our food and what we eat. Different environmental things can play a role as well. And these are some other considerations. Did you know that when you sleep and you are a better sleeper, you're going to lose weight more effectively and manage your weight better? So, a lot of us, we're busy and we're trying to get by on 3 or 4 hours sleep every night. That makes it a lot more difficult to lose weight in the long run. Stress, all of us, stressful lifetime and kind of the world that we're living in right now can be very stressful. So as you're stressed, this can increase some of your stress hormones in your body and again, cause it to be harder to lose weight. So we have these calories over here, we have exercise, and then here comes genetics, stress, behaviors, the environment. It's hard. And I'm still not done talking. There's still more. So the kinds of foods that you eat also are very important. When I first started talking, I talked a little bit about calories, and I talked about the calories you need every day. But the calories in an apple are different than the calories in a hot fudge sundae. So every food that you eat is made up of carbohydrates, fat, and protein. And if you're eating the kinds of foods that provide satiety with the good protein, vegetables, and those sort of things, and fruits, you're going to feel more full versus if you eat, I don't know, a donut. So that makes a difference. Speaking of donuts, there's another one. When you eat foods that are higher in sugar, the more sugary kind of foods and fatty foods you eat, you crave. So you eat sugar. Sometimes people kind of equate eating sugary foods like almost like taking drugs. because it triggers something in your brain, making you want to eat more and more and more of it, right? So you're eating more because your brain is telling you, hey, eat more of those sugary foods. I can relate to that, right? So those are the foods, and you eat more and more and more, and it makes that calorie balance a lot different. Throw in all of the food that we have today: fast food, gas station food, convenience food. It's really easy to grab different things and grab and go, and it's hard to stay on plan. So that's kind of the big picture of obesity and why it can be hard. And I'm sure there's many, many, many other things. But my point here is it's not just about the calories. It's not just about moving. It's looking at the whole picture for yourself for weight and for weight management. So sometimes we pick out little pieces and we focus so much on this 1,500 calorie diet. And there's a lot more to it. We have to look at other areas of your life. So that's where we are. Now, where are we going? What do we do? So we have this information that we just talked about, okay? And now your next step is saying, okay, I get it. I understand. What's the next step? And what can I do to help manage my health, to maybe lose some weight or maintain my weight? That's the next question. A question that I get all the time is, hey, Sarah, can you put me on a diet? Hey, Sarah, give me the perfect diet. Now, let's first talk about what is the definition of a diet. So really, a diet, if you look it up in the dictionary, is the food that you eat every day. My diet consists of meat and vegetables and grains and fruit and some treats here and there. That's my diet. But we look at it a lot of times differently, and we think of it as more restrictive, as dieting, focusing on the foods that we can't have, not really focusing on the foods that we're eating. So I want you to think about that for a minute. I want you to remember and not work so much on restricting and thinking and choosing about the foods that you are choosing to eat every day. Now, what's the best diet? What is the best diet for me to follow every day for a weight management plan and to help with the disease of obesity? That's a great question. And I think you might be disappointed when I tell you what the answer is, but the answer is it's different for every person. So what's really important is for you to find a plan that works for you. I would like you to think about what are some changes that you can make to your plan, okay, and make those plans work for you. So there's lots of different options. So let me tell you about a few. You know, when you're thinking about the foods that you're going to choose into your plan, some people do things like work on cutting back on their portions. I had a patient and she said before, if you tell me I can't eat something, then I want to eat more of it. Some of you might feel like that. If I tell you don't eat a brownie, you're going to want to eat 10 brownies. So what she does is she works on cutting back her portions of everything. That could be a great weight loss plan. She's just making changes. Some people reduce their amount of carbohydrates. Some people, especially for diabetic, okay? Some people work on changing the composition of their meals and using lower fat choices and heart healthy plans. Also fantastic, fantastic options. Some people choose to do intermittent fasting. What intermittent fasting is it's when you eat for about 8 hours a day and you fast for the other 16. We can do that because it can cut calories, it can help with blood sugar, it can help with insulin. It can be a great choice. Now, let me say on the flip side, I've had people who say, I'm going to try that plan. But then what they do is they decide, well, since I can only eat for 8 hours, I'm just going to eat whatever I want these 8 hours. So again, you have to find something that works for you, right? And for some people, it works perfect. There are some people that choose a medical weight loss plan and might do meal replacements or a low carbohydrate diet. There are some people who have surgical weight loss and they have a very specific plan as laid out by a dietitian. But the key is, again, finding something that works for you and realizing that you're going to follow it, you're going to do the best you can and make small changes as you go. So pick some different plans that can work for you as your plan, okay? And if you want specifics and you want really to sit down and talk about what's the best plan for you based on your health conditions, see a doctor, see a dietitian, come up with some good options for you as you're going forward, okay? Now, those are some diets that you may want to think about. Another thing that I think really comes in when we're talking about this eating less and exercising more is all the information that we're given every day. So, you know, the world we live in, we're full of text messages, social media, your work email, your home email, you got stuff going on all the time. Fitness tracking really is no different if you think about it. So there's lots of ways to manage your fitness, manage your nutrition as you're going forward. So couple things. I have a fitness tracker. I use it all the time. My favorite part is I have a goal of getting in 10,000 steps every day, which a lot of you may. I like at 10 minutes before every hour, it buzzes my wrist if I haven't got my steps in, and it tells me to move more. It's a great reminder. But I want to ask you this. If I get in 9,950 steps a day, is that okay? Well, the answer is it's great because I'm moving and I'm making steps towards my health. You don't have to be perfect. So it's important not to get kind of hung up in these devices and having to have every little box checked. Everybody likes to have all their rings filled. Everybody likes to do these, but making sure you're really giving yourself credit for what you're doing and moving as much as you can. Calorie counting. There are 1,000 fantastic ways for you to track your food every day. So you can track your food with different apps on your phone. You can track your food with on your computer programs. I love a couple apps on my phone. I use it all the time. Some people aren't techie, and that's okay. And they use a notebook, and that's awesome too. So tracking your food is going to kind of give you an idea of what you're taking in. I like it because it shows me kind of trends. You know, I can see, hey, I really struggle every night when I come home from work because I want to have a snack and I really should just make my dinner. Okay. You can learn a lot of things about yourself. You want to make sure, again, you don't get too hung up in the numbers. Sometimes, for example, if your goal is 50 grams of carbs every day, and you guys have talked about that with the health professional, that's a great goal. But if you're logging your food and you're at 60, you're not a failure. You're making really good progress from where you were, you know. So use those guides, but don't use them to think that you haven't done well. Use them on what you need to do going forward. Another piece of information that's coming in all the time is going to be information at the gym. So if you're on the gym and you hop on the elliptical and you hop on a bike, it's going to tell you how many calories you burn every day. So that's kind of a cool thing to know too. It's a good, again, guide. Sometimes it depends on how much you weigh, and a lot of those are kind of figured out with people who maybe have a weight of like 150. So if you're a little higher, it's going to be different calorie amounts. But again, gives you an idea of some additional information that you may need. So those fitness trackers and all of those things are really, really, really great tools to use. Just make sure they don't get you into that all or none thinking of I have to be perfect, because that's really the hardest thing with a lot of this. So again, here we go, right? Have our calories, eating more, eating less, lots of other things affecting it. And we're realizing that there's more to obesity than just calories. And I need to look at the whole picture. And then we look at finding some sort of a nutrition plan that we're going to follow, okay? We're tracking, seeing how we're going, monitoring our progress. All sounds like a good plan. So what do we do, and how does kind of your end game work? And I think that's the biggest thing, because many of us know how to do this, but we can do it for a few days. And then the problem is, after those few days, how do you keep staying on track? And I think it's figuring out, again, a plan that works for you. Everybody's motivated those first couple of days, and then they struggle, and then they forget about it. So and then they kind of fall off the plan. So to stay on long term, the best thing for you to do is to just first start with, number one, thinking about, what are my goals? You know, what do I want to do, and what is my end game? For some of us, it's, hey, I want to maintain what I'm doing right now, and I want to eat a very healthy, balanced diet. For others, it might be, hey, I feel like I need to lose a few pounds. For others, people feel like they might have just different fitness goals. So again, it's going to be different for every person. So you figure out what your goal is, and then I want you to pick a couple things to work on. Now, I want you to figure out things that are going to work for you. They need to be goals that you haven't met yet and that you need to work on. but they don't need to be this far off that they're almost unreachable. So very small goals. So for some, it might be, hey, I'm drinking too many sodas, so I'm just going to get rid of my sodas and I'm going to add in some water and some calorie-free drinks. That's a great goal. You know, for others, it may be, hey, I am only sleeping 3 hours a night and I feel like I need to be more rested. I'm going to try to turn my phone off and at 11 o'clock and get to bed. You know, other people say, I feel like I'm too stressed. And if you're too stressed, remember, you might eat a little bit more. You may, those stress hormones levels go up and it's hard. So you may say, hey, I'm going to do 5 or so minutes of yoga every day to really work on relaxation. And all of these things impact your health. It's not just the food, it's all of it. So picking a few goals to work on your food plan, picking some movement goals, and picking some other lifestyle goals, because it all goes together. Now, as you're running through this plan and you're making these changes, everybody's excited and ready to go. You have to expect that at some point you're going to stumble. Now, I am stealing this quote from my favorite psychologist that I work with at my clinic, and we were doing a Facebook Live, and she said this, and it's really kind of stuck with me. You know, if you're walking down the stairs and you stumble, what do? And I said, well, you stop and you grab onto the rails and you steady yourself, and then you keep on walking. And she says, hey, this is the same thing that you need to do with your plan. And it's so the truth, right? You don't just throw yourself down the rest of the stairs after you've made maybe a wrong choice or didn't get your yoga in or that sort of thing. You still continue on with the plan. So that, I think, is something that's very important to remember. You are going to stumble. You're going to keep going. You're going to meet your goals. And then do you know what you do? You go to the next goals, little bit at a time, and realizing this is always changing. The other thing to realize is that you don't have to do this on your own. There are so many people out there who are willing to help you. There are dietitians, there's physicians, there's trainers. There's a whole support system of other people who are working on their health and their weight loss goals. And sometimes those are the best things to get you connected with other people, because they're going through the same thing as you. So that's kind of where I am today. And I really wish all of you well on your weight loss journey. And again, realizing it's the whole picture. We're all in this together. And I'm really excited for you to start working on your health and your wellness. Have a great day.
Thank you, Sarah, for such an informative talk. I love what you had to say about obesity being different for everyone. That is so key and a powerful take-home message. And of course, thank you, our audience, for tuning in. And also be sure to subscribe to our YouTube.
All right. Can you guys hear me okay? I had to change from my audio. Okay. All right. Any thoughts, questions, concerns about what Sarah shared in the video? No. I can say that I can relate on that many levels, because I do think that growing up, it was the mindset, eat less, move more. You should easily lose weight. And so just understanding that everyone has different needs, I think that's good, to kind of keep in the back of our mind that there's not a straightforward answer just for everyone that's going to work the same. So, all right, we'll keep moving along here. Find the right screen to be on here. So, with working on the Chronic Disease and Obesity Coalition, I didn't realize that there is a Chronic Disease Awareness Day. And I don't know if anyone else, if this is new information to you, but July 10th is the day that's recognized for the Chronic Disease and Awareness Day. And the purpose is to educate and advocate for people with chronic health conditions. So I know that there are some groups that work with policymakers and advocate for people that deal with chronic disease. I'm just thinking of some things that the group could do on their own or together with like friends and family and colleagues would be participate in a week-long challenge focused on healthy eating, regular physical activity, and stress management. Participate in activities that support community health initiatives. Let's see here, the next slide. So trying to think of some like new challenges with family, friends, or coworkers. A nutrition challenge. Kind of like we started off with like, what's your favorite vegetable for the rest of your life? How about try a new fruit or vegetable? Make it fun. Maybe involve colleagues in that where you bring a snack to share and everyone tries something new to them. Or if you take one meal and beverage and you swapped it out for a healthier option. These are things that we could do easily and together. Stretching challenge. So if you started each day with like a 10-minute stretching routine, that's going to improve flexibility, reduce tension. Posture challenge. If you were to set a timer to remind yourself to check your posture every hour, perform those quick posture correcting exercises throughout the day. Incorporate fun activities like cooking new recipes together or outdoor adventures. One of my favorites is the walk and talk. If you take like 3 personal calls or work calls, and while you're walking outdoors, you do those calls and walk for at least 10 to 20 minutes. You're killing 2 birds with 1 stone that way. One thing too, I think should be remembered is that the challenges should be practical, achievable, and supportive of long-term health and well-being. Those small sustainable changes can lead to significant improvements in overall wellness. Does anyone have any like challenges or something that they've done in the past that they've used to motivate themselves or others to get active, be healthier?
I think as a group, we've done the goose chase thing that the chamber does.
Yes, I know that I think that was like what, once a year when the chamber would like roll out that initiative. Anyone else participate on the goose chase event? Has anyone thought of like ways that wouldn't maybe prevent people from wanting to participate? Because I know that people are all levels of health and not everyone can run like a 10K, right off the bat. Any tips or anything that you think that would maybe motivate people to get them going?
This is Becky from Lutheran Kosciuszko. Are you talking about that specific activity she just mentioned?
It could be anything, because like well-being, it's more than just one aspect.
Okay. And you said things that could keep them from participating. Is that what you said?
Yeah, like what are like barriers that maybe like we as a community face that prevent people from wanting to participate? Or, is there something that you guys do regularly that maybe works for you to keep you motivated?
I think social, maybe awkward, that's not the right word, but awkwardness, people having fears of going to new events probably could prevent somebody from doing that. Their fitness level, if they're not comfortable with that.
That's a good point. I feel like we often think others are looking at us and they're really not. They're concentrating on that. So the social environments, that would be an easy one to prevent, I think.
Yeah.
I think another one would be not knowing, I know like going to the gym or something, if people don't know how to use equipment or don't know how to do something, that kind of makes a barrier.
That is true, especially if you're there and you're not for sure if you're even doing the proper technique or the using the machine. You don't want to hurt yourself, as well. Those are good. Well, if you happen to think of anything, please feel free to share with the group if you feel comfortable. There is some free virtual training that I found from the chronicdiseaseday.org. The link here is to register, and I will send that out in an email afterwards. The topic is nutrition, obesity, and chronic disease prevention, and it features Dr. Andrew A. Bremer, director of the NIH Office of Nutrition Research. And the brief summary is obesity is the leading driver of the deadliest and costliest chronic diseases. The educational event will discuss solutions for households and healthcare providers to address the impact of obesity on preventable health conditions and the nation's healthcare systems. So again, it's a free virtual event. I will send that out. So if anyone's interested, please feel free to register for that. And then we'll move along to some member sharing. I'll hand it over to Jessica.
Thanks, Sandy. So if you didn't know, we have a cancer coalition as well. We had a lunch on last month, and am I echoing or is it just me listening? Okay. So our next meeting is set for June 25th at 11:30 to 12:30.
We're going to be at the Health Services Pavilion again. Upstairs, we're going to have lunch provided. So if you want to attend, I'm going to put my email in the chat. Just send me a message. I'll send a confirmation a week before too, just to make sure we have enough lunch. Last, we're going to discuss our vision and mission and some project ideas. We have a couple of small grants. It seems like last meeting we really talked about statistics of cancer rates in Indiana and Kosciuszko, and a lot of what we want to work towards is more awareness and access to early detection screenings. So that's kind of what we're going to be focusing our project on. Talking a little bit about asset mapping and then some action items. But yeah, I'll put my email in the contacts or in the chat. Sorry. If you guys have any questions, say no.
Thank you, Jessica. Does anyone else have any upcoming events or news that they'd like to share with the group? Go ahead.
I can share something. So one of our other, can you guys hear me? I think I'm getting a microphone issue message. Okay. So we have, so Connections in Health, one of the other coalitions is called the Hoosier Health and Wellness Alliance, and they have their annual summit coming up, which is going to focus on food system work. So it is free, it is virtual on June 6th. So join us. It's 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and I will drop the registration link in the chat as well. So feel free to join for as much or as little as you would like. But it's going to be awesome. There's a great lineup for that. And as soon as I find this information, I will post that.
Great. And then I'll also send that out to the group so that way if they have anyone else they'd like to share it with an organization.
Yes, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. I know that we have the community health fair coming up in September 28th. So there'll be information coming out about that with different screenings from head to toe that will be offered to the community. Any updates about farmers markets, anything, that's cool and exciting that you feel like maybe we could get out there?
I wanted to share too. Goshen Health, I think, partnered with Harvest Coffee. They might have done other, as I don't know if Katie's on here. She was on here. She was anymore.
Sorry, Jessica, I'm having trouble hearing you.
So I actually went to visit yesterday and they had some vegetables out. And so that was really cool. I think they're called mobile gardens. So I'm not sure if you're doing them anywhere else in Kosciuszko.
Yeah, Jessica, I can barely hear you, but I don't know if the audio is being funky or what. But yes, we have our mobile gardens are being set up in Elkhart and Kosciuszko County. We have 18 of these gardens going up throughout the area for the summer. So one of them is, at that Harvest Coffee shop, and they do a lot for the community. I think that's in Milford. Yeah. So yeah, that is going and I think it's going to be starting to plant like next week or I guess tomorrow. So we're close to the end of the week already, but so next week should kick off.
Right. Do you have like any information where the 18 gardens are?
What's that?
Do you have information on where the 18
most of them are going to be in Elkhart County. There's I think 2 more in Kosciuszko in some housing areas, but I can confirm with Stacy and send that to you.
Yeah, I think that would be great to share. That's awesome. You guys are doing that.
This is Caroline. I happen to know where the 2 in Warsaw are.
Oh, perfect.
One at Colfax.
Yes.
And they're going to be working with some master gardeners that was already kind of doing a food drop off to them. And the other one, I think this is right, called Castile Apartments through Bowen Center.
That sounds right. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not as familiar with that place.
Nice, that's great. Anyone have anything else? Say if not, that's the end of our meeting today. Our next meeting is June 27th. It'll be virtual again, as we have those on the 4th Thursday of the month. I appreciate everyone's time and spending the afternoon with us learning about chronic disease and obesity and what we can do as a community. So I hope everyone has a safe and happy Memorial Day and take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Andy. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good meeting.